Welcome into Arsenal Report, and Jarell Hato, a name that we've heard a lot over the past few transfer windows, is again linked with Arsenal this summer. We will continue to look at that hybrid left center back, left back type of player who can kind of do everything. And Hato is the opposite of Calafiori in the fact that he is completely and utterly unbreakable. The guy misses next to no matches. At 19 years old, he's made over 100 appearances for Ajax already. It's a truly remarkable feat that he has come across. And listen, it's crazy he's still at Ajax. I know that's a wild thing to say about a 19-year-old, but this is a player who's been sought after since he's 17 from the world's top clubs and has decided to really take his time, make his decision, develop. He's a strong mental profile. And listen, I don't know if Arsenal is the best fit for him as a career next step because where does he fit in? Is he our starting left back next year? I guess potentially yes. But at the same time, he's played a lot of center back over the last 18 months, probably where he sees himself most in the future. And unless he's going to be the left back in kind of a three in possession where Gabriel becomes our center back, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for him. And he's not an overlapping left back. Although we don't play with one, I do think that's a profile we're interested in. And then if it's left center back, we're talking about a player who is trying to fight one of the best left center backs in the world in Gabriel Magalhaes for that position. So as much as Jarell Hato is a name that I think will continue to be linked with Arsenal, Chelsea are interested amongst many other clubs. I think it'll be a tough one to get done. The deal itself is not that expensive, and we have created a great relationship for ourselves with Ajax. I think Ajax would be happy to sell Hato to us, but I'm not sure the player himself sees the fit so much for next season. And if he does move this summer, I think it will be hard for Arsenal to convince him to join. But another player who Chelsea are interested in that I think Arsenal were offered the chance to sign first is Jamie Bino-Gittens. I have it under pretty good authority that when we have started our soccer renewal talks, that Jamie Bino-Gittens was offered to us as rotation option, as a player who can play off both wings, and a player who Arsenal should be interested in. I mean, only £30 million. This guy was spectacular for Dortmund. Listen, he's incredibly raw. So if you were going to go get Sane and Sesko and you don't have the money or the budget to spend huge on a third attacker, Jamie Bino-Gittens has loads of potential, loads of talent, can play off both wings, has had some spectacular moments for Dortmund in the Bundesliga and the Champions League. He's English, so he's not going to need time to adapt to coming back to England. That, to me, is a no-brainer signing and something that Arsenal need to be all over if the opportunity is there. I'd rather, look, if you look at what Jamie Bino-Gittens would cost up front, but plus his wages over a 5-year contract, it's about the same as Leroy Sané would cost, considering you're probably giving Sané a £5 million bonus. You're looking at $250K wages, where Gittens, we're talking $120K a week wages. We're talking $30 million, so amortize that over 5 years. The deals are very similar amounts of money, and Dortmund's usually not the hardest club to negotiate with. If you give them the price they're interested in, which is really not that high here, they're willing to make a deal, and I'm sure you could pay it over 3 years. So Jamie Bino-Gittens is not necessarily something we're going to be thrilled about if he just goes to Chelsea for such a cheap price, and I don't quite understand why Chelsea are able to sign all these players, why these players want to go to Chelsea. You know, you talk about what I just said about Hato, where the opportunity's not there. Where is the opportunity for Bino-Gittens? They have had a plethora of money spent on attackers. They have way too many in those positions. He'll really have to prove his place, where at Arsenal, there's a chance he's a starting left winger in match week 1. So I think that's a player that we're still going to be interested in keeping tabs on, depending on where this Sané saga ends up. And not that there have even been strong links to Arsenal and Jadon Sancho, but just considering the way our transfer policy has gone the last few years, the rescuing, for lack of a better term, of players and their careers, Jadon Sancho is a player that we need to avoid at all costs. He wants £300,000 per week. Step one, big issue. He'd be our highest earner at the club, next to Kai Havertz. Number two, he hasn't had a good season since he left Dortmund. I know there's been a lot of talk of Arteta rescuing Marcus Rashford, rescuing Kai Havertz, rescuing Jadon Sancho. We don't want to be that club anymore. We've taken a step up where we only want to add players who are going to make us better immediately. And yes, they can be projects like a Jamie Bino-Gittens or even a Jarell Hato, but they can't be reworks, renovations, restorations, whatever you want to call them, what Jadon Sancho would be. And I just haven't seen it from him at any consistency. Even at Dortmund, he was only consistent for like 6 to 8 months. Never that great for England. It's just a player who really needs to be on his day, and we don't have the room for on-his-day type of players. We need consistent performers who can be called on any given week to put in a 10 out of 10 performance. And Jadon Sancho just is not that. I don't think Arteta will be tempted by it, and even if he was, I can't imagine that's the kind of signing Andrea Berta is interested in. Let's hope the Sancho saga ends quickly, or really for our hope, it doesn't end quickly for Manchester United, but quickly that is shot down from the Arsenal side of things. And lastly, but certainly not least, I can't possibly understand why we would not be pushing for Bradley Barcola should he be available. It appears he is available because, number one, Desiree Doué has emerged as one of the best young talents in the world, a player who Arsenal were interested in last summer. Number two, they have Kvara, who has been spectacular for them. And Barcola has lost his starting position with them two and Ousmane Dembele. I don't think Dembele is long-term going to be the center forward there at PSG. I imagine they're going to spend on a striker this summer or in the upcoming time. And then you have three world-class wingers, plus Bradley Barcola, who's on his way to being world-class, 40 goals and assists this year in 58 appearances, 21 goals, 19 assists. He had an incredible season. He's a transitional monster, an excellent finisher. Yes, he's a little bit raw still, but he's an upgrade on what we currently have, allows us to play with a little bit more pace and a little bit more directness. And we need to make Arsenal French again. We were the best at recruiting the best young French talent in the world for so long, and we've gotten away from that. And I don't understand why. The French national team, under 21s, under 20s, under 19s are all top three in the world in their places. The French football is in one of the best places it's been in a very long time, and we're not involved in it, which feels very weird for Arsenal to not be involved in good young French talent. So Bradley Barcola, I think that's a £50 million signing. Like, you get Barcola, Sesko, and Sané, that's a great summer. It's not, oh my God, we've gotten a stud star who's already top of his game, but it still adds to our ranks. It gives us versatility and options and allows us to play in different ways. So I'd expect us to continue to be interested in Bradley Barcola. I know that's been mostly a Twitter narrative, but it's one that I don't expect to go away as the summer kind of moves on. And I imagine PSG are still not going to be quiet, even though they won the Champions League. They're still going to spend the summer. So there's going to be excess there, and Barcola, I believe, will be one of those players. Thanks for watching Arsenal Report. Make sure to subscribe right down here. We're doing daily videos on transfer rumors, tactics, analysis, where Arsenal will go this summer, and where they'll go in the future. Thanks for watching.